Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Will He Break It? Yeah. Today on the Rewind Electric Show, watch as James Finnerty attempts to get inside to the Ross delay. Now, I've tried to get into this Ross delay before, and I was not very successful, but I didn't try very hard. Also have the DoD delay here because I'm gonna do a recap on that, just like I did a recap on its brother, the big orange flanger here earlier today. Let's just set these both out of the way for the moment. So what I need to do is to get into here to see the capacitors and the parts and all that, and I'll show you why. Why is it a problem to get in here? You can just take the 4 screws off and open the back, right? Yes, you can-ish. You can get to some of it that way. You can't get to all of it that way, including the most important parts. Okay, so actually you can see quite a lot this way. That is quite a bit of a delay there. But let me ask you, my brethren and sistern. No, that's not it. Sistren? My brothers and sisters. What is this right here? What do you think that is? You see something there? Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in more. Right there. That light blue. What is it? It's a capacitor. You know it. Okay. Quit playing dumb. Well, what value is it? How does it test? What if I'd like to change it? Yes. That's a power transformer. And a big filter cap there. And there's a lot of really nice Redicon chips I'd like to protect. That filter cap is protecting. Supposedly. Maybe. If it's still good. How would we know? That is the very problem that we're dealing with. Okay, so take the back off. Sure, no problem. See how this case is cast? Right there. The metal casing comes around so that you can have these really cool recessed knobs. I mean, those are super cool. Let's be realistic here. So just grab them and pull them up, right? And therein lies the problem. There's 4 bolts under these knobs that need to come off in order to pull the back off. Well, those knobs don't want to come off to give me access. So we're going to watch Will He Break It tonight as I try to remove those knobs. Obviously, I can't get a knob and bushing puller in there around them. I might be able to fish some wire in there. Probably should start with that. But we're not gonna. We're going to start with this. We're going to start with a pair of soft-jawed pliers. Well, dude, those aren't soft-jawed pliers. Those are just some janky, cheap pliers that look like they've been underwater, in acid, and on fire. Yes, all of the above, friends. It looks like you're just wrapping them in electrical tape. Wrong, I'm wrapping them in Scotch Super 33 Plus electrical tape. It is not just electrical tape. It's very grippy, very stretchy. And very much less likely to cause the problems that I would normally cause by doing this. So I'm going to try and grab them like this. I'm going to try and not crush these fragile bakelite knobs as I pull them off. But you never know. Let's start with this one. Okay. See, sometimes you win. And look how crusty that is. Oh, sometimes you don't. Let's move on. Okay. Sometimes you win twice in a row. How often do you win 3 times in a row? I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I get 3 in a row. Look at that. How often do you win 4 times in a row? This is where I gotta be honest with you and myself. I don't think I've ever won 4 times in a row. Things have 4 corners, and it's usually the last one that breaks. Oh, man. Hey, it worked. Okay. Look at these dust bunnies. I mean, those are like dust jackalopes. Those aren't bunnies. Okay. That worked surprisingly not terribly. I mean, how did that even fit in there? All right. I got to get a Q-tip, try and clean that out. Well, I'm so pleased that that worked. Now this video is no longer turning into an episode of laugh at James as he breaks things so much as it is going to be a let's explore into this Ross delay a bit deeper, get the cap values, order some replacements, get it all up and running in a nice, reliable way for the upcoming classic vintage analog delays shootout. Man, look at that. That was what was under the knobs. What a collection of crust. Why is being the upper crust of society considered a good thing? I don't want to be any kind of crust of society. I want to be the soft doughy center, or like the cream filling of society. I'm gonna need okay, I was going to attempt to clean these pots out before further clearing out that crust, but see, I think there's gonna be a lot here. You gotta take these jacks off. That's not that big of a deal. But then this power cord is kind of permanently attached, and I feel like if I take that circuit board off, it's going to be awkwardly hanging from the case. It's not really coming off fully to do what I need to do, and I'm not going to unsolder and remove the power cord to do what I need to do, because I don't need to do that to do what I need to do. Therefore, what I need to do is clean these like this. Actually, I'm not thrilled about how this part's working either. Could be worse, though. It is working. Grossly, but it is working. Thanks to Delaney brand naphtha. And remember, if you're not using Delaney brand naphtha, you're wrong. Where can you get your Delaney brand naphtha, you might ask? You might. Really, I mean, you might. You never know, you might. Give me a break. Should I tell him? Mater, should I tell him? Oh, no, man. I wouldn't just let that secret loose. Look, Mater, these are good people. I'm going to let them know. What you need is a little Orphan Annie decoder ring. And then you have to listen to her radio show, which only comes on shortwave radio in the 1950s. If you do that, little Orphan Annie will tell you in code how to obtain your Delaney brand naphtha. Okay, I think that's about as good as I can get them without getting the pots out. So that might be as good as they go. I don't know if I can reach the... Oh, okay. These rocket sockets will just barely reach those nuts. What's the deal now? Okay. It wants a real side. And a socket wrench. I feel like I'm doing something naughty here. This is just too much wrench for a little pedal. Okay, I guess it's all good. I guess they're just kind of crusted on there because it doesn't take a lot to break loose, and once it breaks loose, it just spins freely. Unless I've just wrecked every pot in there by doing that. That's always a possibility. All right, look at these crusty nuts. Man, one is stuck in here. This is awful. Nobody wants to have... What's going on right here? Oh, come on. Now this crusty nut is stuck. All right. Hey, did anybody who watched that... okay, let's rewind this. Did anybody watch the video regarding the ADA flanger and the MXR delay? If you watched that video, the majority of the audio demo ended up being a featuring of my confusion about how that flanger at the same point in its LFO cycle as it swept around was able to defeat the delay effect. So, you know, it would be, I had the flanger playing into the delay, both of them on. They're flanging, they're delaying, all is normal. And then at a certain point, every time that flanger would get to, like, you know, the very top or the very bottom or the very middle, whatever it was, of its cycle of flanging sounds that it sweeps through, whenever you get to, or the, or whatever, at the same time, every cycle, it would stop the delay effect and then come back once it passed that point. Every time. At whatever settings I gave it. I am so confused how that can work. Please, somebody tell me. I'm not only so confused about how it can work, I'm like so interested in that it can work. I could not figure it out. Okay, moment of something. Oh boy, I think we gotta take those switches off too. All right, it's usually the 14. Let's just go right to the 14 and skip the 1/2 inch. Yeah, there we go. 14 it is. Man, this is crusty. And you know what? Like, what's funny about how crusty this is that of the 3 or whatever vintage Ross delays from this era that I was looking at when I wanted to buy one, this was the cleanest. Man, it is grungy. grungy to the max. How am I gonna get this back together? Oh, come on now. Work with me here, you monster. It's so close. It's on the cusp of coming out, but it's okay. We're closer than we've ever been. Oh my goodness. Look at that. How did they ever expect anyone to work on this? All right. Wow. Star washers. You know what I'd like? I'd like an ultrasonic cleaner. Somebody send me an ultrasonic cleaner. I'm speaking primarily to me. Me, send me an ultrasonic cleaner. A really great one. Not some half-ass thing. Like, it's got to be amazing. It's got to be able to clean fine diamond rings and heavily used rifle barrels. Maybe not at the same time, but, you know, back to back. And everything in between. Well, so interesting piece of information to note here. After all that work, because I had seen a cap in there, it is the only cap in there. Guys, there was enough room to put that on the other side. Why'd you do that to me? Well, let's do that thing that we do now that we're in here. This capacitor right here, me watching this video later, is a 470 microfarad 25 volt Nichicon. How old is that? It's glued in. Has that been changed? Huh. Whatever, I'm going to change it again. 470 microfarads at 25 volts. I'm just going to have a look over here, right there. Because you see I got piles of caps here. Maybe I have one. Oh, I have 470. These are radials, and that's an axial. And that is a pain in the axial. So let's see if I can do better. What am I looking for? 470. Oof. 470. Oh, what is this for though? MXRs and Maestro PS1A. Oh! Oh, yeah. These guys, the MXR pedals. And I've already, these are for the MXR pedals and for the Maestro PS1A. And I have already updated all of my MXR pedals and my Maestro PS1A, making those three capacitors spares. So this is going to go right in there right now, my friends. There is no need to go back in here twice. Let's just get it done now. I do want to clean this case a little bit. Let's do the cap first. Okay. So we've got one leg under the glue here. A lot of it. Oh boy. Oh. All right, and another leg over here. Tell me that's not like CA glued in there. I think somebody might have changed that out. First of all, I don't think they had Michikon attached on. But I don't care, it's coming out. It's just going to come out this way. That'll be fine. It doesn't have to play nice. I can play dirty. All right. Let's just take note that negative is going that way. And we'll just put this one over here in that direction in case I forget. This might smell like glue. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there's one leg. Smells a little bit like glue. Look at that cute little ceramic disc there. That's nice. I want to pull that glue up, but I don't want to like rip up any traces, pads. So I might not be pulling that glue up. We'll try. Let's get this out of here first. Wrong tool for the job time. Thought if I split that in half, it might come out a little easier, and it might. Oh, people are frustrating sometimes. Why did you do this? It's not a Fender amp. Can't really get to this stuff. There's a piece in my hair. I feel it. All right. might be just leaving the rest of that on there. Okay, so this is basically going flat down. It's going to take a little work to get it in that one. Okay. I'll pull this side back out a little bit. Well, just a little tiny bit. Okay, like that probably. Okay. Now, there is solder. It's a dual-sided board, so there are some traces on this side. They would like some solder as well, and they will get it. Okay, there's one. This one's got that glue. It looks like it's fairly well soldered, though. I think it seems to have already soldered itself from the other side. That's good. I'm gonna make sure. Oh yeah, I'm still gonna hit it though. Just a quick drop. A little bit of heat. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. I don't think there's any other electrolytics to read off. Weirdly, very weirdly, like it is extremely unusual that there's not. But I think that's correct. Just a bunch of big film caps. Okay. Yeah. All right. I want to... Yeah, see there's a bunch of crud in there. I want to get that cleaned out. But I'm going to need some cotton balls. cotton balls. And a little bit more of that fine Delaney brand naphtha. You didn't think I was serious about that little Orphan Annie thing. That's fine. You don't have to think I'm serious. All that matters is that little Orphan Annie knows I'm serious. Because you don't want to mess with her. She looks like she has no eyes, but truly, she sees everything. Man, I really like this delay. Oh, I've toxified my like work mat here. It's all right. This thing got seriously crusty, seriously fast on my bench. We all knew that would happen. Okay. Wow, these pots are really crusty. They weren't that crusty. Let's see. What happened to these poor guys? Did pulling on them mess them up? They were kind of messed up to begin with. I do remember that. But not like this. There we go. Oh, these do have the pot values on them, don't they? Oh, no. Well, let's see. They have the dates: 1978, 1977. No, 1978, 78, 78, 78. I'm just reaching under here and gently flattening these tabs, which is better done from the other side of the pot that we can't get to right now. So we'll take what we can get. Bushing is twisted entirely under there. Wild. Can that be fixed? I don't even know if you can get this off like in a normal way. Naphtha's messing up my fingers. Okay, let's... So there's a there's a piece of this pot. There we go. I don't know if you could see that. It's really hard to explain. There's like a upper mounting plate that was twisted. I'm not ambidextrous, but that's how I have to work on this. Let's see. You can kind of teach yourself to become ambidextrous as needed sometimes. Fortunately, working on pots, especially Central Lab and CTS pots, is something that I'm very comfortable with, like rebuilding old ones. We're gonna leave that one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's get it back on. Lotion on the hands. So much for calling it an early night tonight. But if you can't call it an early night, you can at least call it a productive night. So when you can't call it either, that's when you have the hard feelings to face going to bed. Okay. This one is also twisted in the same way, though not as severely. There we go. It just snapped right into place. Surprised these pots weren't having any trouble. Maybe they were, I just don't remember. I do remember specifically noting that those cases were pushed off and trying to remember if maybe it was because they were tightened too much from the front or pushed down too far when they were soldered in. Like something, I knew something bad had happened. That was for certain. That much was obvious. This one was probably in the best condition of all four. Let's see what we can do. I don't believe I have the calibration instructions for this. If anybody has them, please send them along. I don't even know that I have a correct, accurate schematic. Somebody who was watching the 88 flanger video, who's also a member of the My Les Paul forum. And by the way, guys, if you are a member of the My Les Paul forum, hey, it's me. Sorry, probably should have given you guys a shout out way long ago. I just didn't think anybody watched this channel, but apparently people do. That's like the only internet forum where I hang out. I have for a very long time. Met a number of people there in person. Done business with even more, and yeah, it's a good place. It's unique. Distinctly unique, as I like to say. All right, but yeah, if you anybody watching has the alignment calibration instructions for this, service manual, schematic, please help me out. It needs to be calibrated. I did get in there and mess with this manually, and I made it sound pretty good, so maybe it doesn't really need to be messed with more. But I'd like to give the official calibration procedure a run through, you know? And just have the documentation. A lot of stuff you can do by ear, but not everything. Get that one because this is on the end more than I could the others, and it definitely needs it more than the others. Yeah, nice. Probably not so much that front one, but let's grateful for what we can get. Okay, a little more of that Delaney brand naphtha to clean the shafts out this time. I'm going to be less dumb and put a glove on. Naphtha is some really good juice for a lot of stuff. It's not a dry solvent like so many others. It's like an oily solvent, and that does a lot of good things. Oh, didn't put the nut back on that one. All right, I am going to clean those pots, but I think I'm going to put this back together first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these two go on the switch, obviously. These two go on the switches. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, those are for the jacks. All right, we're good. All right, this was a little bit tricky to get out. I remember it went a little something like this. All right. All right. Lesson learned, Ross. We'll put those on last. Let's see. This was down here, and it did have one of these. Okay, this was over here. All right, yeah, all right. Okay, something like that. I don't remember which of these is considered the local out. I think it goes like that. I think it has to. Yeah, that one wouldn't reach. Yeah. All right, physics. Saving my butt again. If only one way is possible. It's got to be the right way, right? Okay. This thing's going on the other way. We do have a top and a bottom. Not just because of the wear, although that is another reason, but oftentimes these nuts that go on switches like this are rounded on one side and flat on the other. And if you're Electro-Harmonix, you just change it up. They're only consistent within that one pedal. But for everybody else, the rounded part goes on the top. Okay, yeah, I think we're doing good here. This guy goes here because there's absolutely no other way that jack could reach the other location. Barely reaches this one. Okay, yeah, we're doing good. We're doing great. Of course, there's no saying that it's going to work when I put it back together. The DoD flanger worked when I put it back together, and that was a nightmare inside. So I got all 4 of those knobs off without breaking anything. I feel like the chances of this working when I get it back together are honestly probably not very good. I feel like I'm due for some troubleshooting and some making errors. I'm due for some breaking something here. It all feels like there's been a distinct lack of failure today, and I'm probably overdue to fail. That's okay. You call that a learning experience. But man, this has gone so well so far. I mean, I got all 4 of those pots lined up, figured out, fixed, crimped back in place, and like, yeah, they need to be lubricated a little bit. But that's no big deal. Yep. Okay. Lost one. It's all right. Lesson learned. Keep the PCB back and tilt the case onto it. That's what we got. Okay, is that really right? Looks like it's right. Now I've got to spin these nuts down onto those shafts there. And it's going to be a little tricky. Where did my real socket go? Here we go. Okay, that one gripped on. Well, we'll come back to that one. Let's try another. Okay, that one's nice and grabby. It doesn't need much, but it needs to grab. It can't just be loose. Oh, did we get it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here's a trick. You've got your nasty thing, whatever it might be there in your glove. There you go. Fumes locked in. No mess. Alright, I'm going to keep this naphtha out because those knobs need to be cleaned. And just have a quick look at this here. See if anything jumps out as wrong. If it was, it wouldn't show up to me on camera because I'm just like that. All right, I'm going to plug it in and bring it up on the Variac. Might as well. I think we can safely put the socket wrench away. Bring the old Princeton reverb up to voltage here. Okay. All right, on the Variac. You guys know the drill. If you see any fire or smoke, yell so I stop. 3.5 volts, no current. 21 volts, no current. 39 volts, no current. 55 volts, no current. 72, 80, 0.01 amps. I like this. 120.01. All right, let's just back that down a little bit. Let's call it 118 volts is fine. It's within tolerance for the 1970s. Let's hope I didn't mix these up, because one's an input and one's an output. I don't see how I could have put them in there differently, because this input is connected so close to that jack, it wouldn't have reached. Turn it the other way. You hear some hissing. Well, that's a good sign. All right, let's just play guitar. I think we're good. Okay, so this is halfway up on everything right there. Nice. Sounds pretty good to me. That's not going to do anything because it's not connected to the local. I wonder if I connect this to local, does it sound different? Like, is it quieter? Oh, right, local. Interesting. Yeah, it might need both connected to do the thing. Now let's just make sure that that pot's not foobarred, and that can be tested by just shorting the wiper to the lugs. Because that pot was kind of messed up. Nah, that's just how it is. If I had another output connected, yeah, I don't know how that works at all. Very confusing. Might have to read the instructions. Make sure it's not damaged. I don't really need it, but I'd like to know that it's working right. It would bother me if it wasn't. Okay, cool. Bye-bye.